Welcome back to Library-ish, the podcast where we talk about books, libraries, and what our community is actually reading.
Today, we're taking a look at the most checked out books of 2025 at the Butte County Library. The titles readers kept coming back for all year long.
These are the books that were passed from hand to hand, waited on, renewed, and loved across branches and across genres.
That's right. Later in the episode, we'll shift from looking back to looking ahead. And we'll share some of the books that we're personally most excited to read in the coming year in 2026.
Much fun! I'll be talking about the fiction titles on my radar for the new year.
And I'll be sharing the nonfiction books that I cannot wait to dive into.
It's actually a lot of really good ones. I'm
I know
excited.
it's true.
So, whether you're curious about what Butte County readers loved most in 2025,
Or you're already building your reading list for the year ahead, let's go. 2025 was a really good year for checkouts.
it was. It was.
Yeah, there were a lot of books that were on your radar and very popular.
Oh, and Butte County, we've got a lot of books because you can tell the books that are popular because we don't see them. They come here and then they go right back out, and they come in and they go right back
in
out.
one hand, and
Yep,
there,
and there
you
it
go.
goes, and there it goes, and okay. So there was where do you want to start? Do you want to start with fiction or nonfiction?
I think we should start with fiction. I believe we'll go fiction, adult nonfiction, and then we're going to do juvenile fiction and YA fiction. These are the top checked out books of Butte County Library.
Hold on.
Oh, yes.
So the number one we had for 2025 was The Women by Kristen Hanna. That one was so much fun because it was one of the ones that it came in and it went right back out, and it came in and went right back out. And I absolutely hated searching for it because you know how many books have women in the title of it?
Yes. Oh my gosh, because people, especially when it first came out, and it was like, I'm looking for that book, The Woman.
Yeah.
We'd be like,
well, it just takes so long to pull up. But yeah, this is one of the ones, and I actually had that situation where there was like 100 holds on the regular type, The Women, and then there were like 5 on the large type. And anytime a patron come up and I'd be like, well, you're 103 in line. Or if you would like, darling, I can put you on the large type and you would be 5.
See what I'm saying?
This is stuff that happens. I'll do it with mine. If there's something that comes out and I like it, like Emily Henry. If there's an Emily Henry that comes out and I really want to read it, because she always has a large type and a regular one. Every time she releases it, her publishing company does a regular type and a large type. I will put the large type on hold because I know that I won't be number 35 down the list. I'll be number 3.
And it's great for our circ numbers, so don't feel like you're depriving somebody.
There was one that came in, and I was with Max over in Chico, and we were both kind of looking at, because they're the same thickness.
Yeah.
And we're like, because I'm used to large types being like,
they can be much bigger.
But these new large types that come out, they're the exact same size and thickness as a regular book. And I'm like, isn't it supposed to be bigger? My math isn't mathing.
What wizardry is this?
I know. So Max and I were looking at these and we're comparing them, and they pointed out, they said, oh my gosh, it looks like it's got thinner paper. So they do, they use their margins to the best ability, and they've got thinner paper, and they fit all of it in there. It's the same story. It's not like they're going to cut pieces out.
No,
it's the same exact story. It's just, the margins are a little skinnier and the print's a little bigger, thank goodness, and it's thinner paper.
I mean, that's what you're looking for,
right?
So,
and I want to get my book fast. I don't want to wait, because it's 3 weeks per checkout. I'm impatient.
Well,
I don't want to wait.
That's fair.
I want it now. It's my book and I want it now, So I'll put the large type on hold, knowing that it'll get here a lot sooner.
Yeah.
The Women, it's a book about a nurse in the middle of the Vietnam War. And it is something. And I want to say that because it's a historical fictional book based
Mhm.
on a real life incident. And I want to say the historical fiction book club over in Chico, the one that Charity runs, I want to say that they did this one, and she compiled a
Yes, I
nice
think
little
they did.
stack of because anytime Charity does a book club book, she'll compile all these materials that are nonfiction. Here's the nonfiction materials that go with that fictional story that's about that nonfiction incident. And they did this one, and they all really liked it. But there are a couple of parts that just kind of brought a couple of the members to tears. So number 2 in fictional checkouts for 2025 was James. It's a Pulitzer Prize finalist by Percival Everett, and that one also historical fiction. That one, if it's been a minute since you read Huckleberry Finn, it's good to go back because this one kind of functions as a sequel in a way. But it's good to go back and read that to get some footing on this one. But this one was number 2 checked out in Butte County Library. I believe this is now book club in a box. So if the women and James, if you chose to do that as a book club, if you've got your personal book club, you can go on our website to book club in a box and request a set. And Crystal, we've talked about Crystal for almost every episode. I think we drop Crystal because she's wonderful. We would not be able to function without Crystal. Oh my
We
gosh.
need to like stipulate that everybody we work with is awesome.
Super awesome.
We may not name everyone depending on what, but everybody is so great. We're very lucky.
Really, they're oh my gosh, so good. We really lucked out. I mean, we just everybody's really delightful. Anyway, you can go online and request this as a book club in the box if you want to get together with some friends and read it and talk about it. And honestly, if you were to send like Charity an email, she'd be thrilled to send you the little packet of information that she puts together for these. It's not a secret.
So if you just send the general email address as library@buttecounty.net, if you just send an email to that, and I believe that email, you can use the email at the end of the podcast and the beginning of the podcast, which is, I believe, libraryish@gmail.com. Send us an email that you'd like that packet of information, and we'll forward that to Charity and make sure they get it and send it to you.
Yeah, it's a good time. And the majority of the fictions that have been on our top checkouts are historical fictions.
Yeah.
So she's got stuff. She's got all the good stuff. So number 3 is Counting Miracles by Nicholas Sparks. That one is the third most checked out book. You know, Nicholas Sparks, you can kind of know what to expect with that. I mean, he's not a fresh face around here, Tracy.
No,
he's been here for a minute.
No, indeed.
The fourth one that has been highly circulated in Butte County for fiction is Murder Island by James Patterson. You know, it's so much fun. We have a lot of James Patterson's books. He is
all libraries have a lot of James Patterson's books
everywhere. You know, I was working in Durham this past Saturday.
Yeah.
And I had a gentleman come in and he's like, oh, you know, I want to check out one of my favorite authors. I'm having trouble remembering his name. And I'm like, okay, well, give me some titles. And we find out that it's James Patterson. That's his favorite author. And I'm like, oh, Mr. Patterson, come right this way, sir. And I take him over to, you know, the mystery section and I say, behold, James Patterson right here. But wait, good sir, there is more. And we over to the fiction section and look at the 3 full shelves that he holds there. And I'm like,
it's insane.
There's so many. And I'm like, if you can't find one over there, then you just go right over there. And if you can't find one in either of those, this is Durham. It's small. There's so many more in the county. I can help you find all of those, good sir.
We can get it.
So, I mean, if you do something well, why do it for free, right? So James Patterson with Murder Island is number 4. And then bringing up the rear at number 5 is The Frozen River by Ariel Lawhorn. Oh gosh, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. That was number 5. This is also another one that they did for the historical fiction book club. So if you do read this and you'd like the nonfiction to go with it, this one's actually a really heartbreaking one. It's about a midwife back in 1789 when the I'm not going to pronounce this correctly, Kennebec River freezes. She's got to determine the cause of death of a man that they find in the ice. And then there's a couple of other things involving assault on women that she has to deal with. And it's, from what I understand,
definitely trigger warning.
A trigger warning story, but it's from everybody that's read it. It's hard, but it's beautiful. And like I said, this is historical fiction. It's based on a true story. And if you wanted the actual factual events, this is another one that was done by the Historical Fiction Book Club. So charity's got, you know, stuff to go with it. But that was number 5 for our most checkouts in fiction for grown-ups.
And a couple of honorable mentions that also had high checkouts. Battle Mountain by C.J. Box.
Yes.
Battle Mountain is a huge, C.J. Box is a very popular author within the Butte County system at all the libraries. He's very popular. Another one is The Waiting by Michael Connolly. That also, also was checked out a bunch. So,
and that one is the Renee Ballard number 6. So if you wanted to start with that, you know, go back a little bit, we can get you number 1, you know, and that way you can start. But
it's interesting with the Frozen River. Not only was that one of the top 5, but for large type books, that was the number 1 most checked out book.
That is interesting. You know, Butte County, for whatever reason, they love their historical fiction, you know?
Historical fiction and mystery are 2 of the top.
The very, very tippy toppies, you know? I mean, because like we here in Paradise, we've got a lot of people that love their romance, you know? But we're just a little paradise.
Yeah.
You know, Butte County as a whole, historical fiction and mystery, they're always the top 5 of them.
Yeah. No, it's a big thing. All right, let's move on to adult nonfiction. So the list of top 5 items as of today, we're actually shooting this on December 30th. So that's the day that these numbers and these statistics come from. The number 1 most checked out adult nonfiction book in Butte County Library was Our Migrant Souls, which was the book in common with Chico State. And we also hit,
I had a few patrons, whenever I'd mention the book in common, be like, okay, what does that mean? What is a book in common?
A book in common is something we do in the state of California. I don't know if other states do it. I believe they do. But universities pick a book that they'd like the entire student body to read. And then they do that in conjunction with the broader community. So they work with libraries and other organizations.
I see.
And so it becomes this book that everyone in the community reads. And then they'll usually hold a discussion at the university or at another location with that will involve either the author or an expert on the topic or something like that. And then everyone in the community can participate.
Yeah.
So they do that throughout the state of California.
Thank you.
Yeah. And it's different for different systems. So the UC system has a book in common that's separate from the California State University system. And that's essentially how it works.
That's delightful.
Yeah.
I believe because Our Migrant Souls was the one that was listed. The one right now is that one about California and the beaches wearing away, the sand wearing away. I forget what the actual title is.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
But that's the book in common for 25-26 right now.
Right.
But the one that's highest checkout was the old book in common.
Exactly. And if you're interested in doing a nonfiction book with your book club, we do have this title available as a book club in a box title.
Yes.
So you would be able to request that and use that for your book club. The next book was the return of beloved author John Grisham with the book Framed. Then Atomic Habits came in by James Clear. This year after year is in the top 5. I've talked about it a lot. It's fantastic for you looking to get organized. I highly recommend it. Don't work with goals, work with systems. It works. The Anxious Generation. I'm actually surprised that it didn't do more circs than this.
It talks about how we as parents are raising a whole generation of kids that run on high anxiety. Who knows what that's like, right?
Yeah,
I have no idea what high anxiety. But it's factual.
That was a Mel Brooks movie that's very fabulous.
High anxiety.
Yes, actually, it's a parody of the movie Vertigo. It's fantastic, or all Alfred Hitchcock films. Highly recommend.
Well, that's what this book is about. It's about how we are raising kids nowadays, and how certain things like the fact that social media is everywhere, the fact that
Yeah.
things are faster nowadays than they used to
Yeah.
be.
Attention spans are shorter.
Exactly. Kids are not outside playing. Kids are inside,
Mhm.
and they're doing, all these different things that it has this effect that we don't see of increasing these children's anxiety,
Yep.
and Tracy, you've heard me talk about my kids. I've got 3 kids. All 4 of us have this wonderful relationship with anxiety, and
Yeah.
that's what this book is talking about, is how we are raising our children is actually with
Mhm.
all these amenities that are available to us
Right.
nowadays, even though they're here to make life easier,
Right.
it's actually raising these children's anxiety.
Well, I
And
mean, that makes complete
it's a
sense.
great book, and I'm not surprised that it's in one of our top 5.
No, it really,
Mhm,
the amount of circ that title
mhm,
got, I really am shocked. With the numbers, I really thought it would be much closer to the top because
mhm.
it was in really high demand. So the final book in our top 5 circulating nonfiction titles is The Backyard Bird Chronicles by Amy Tan. Again, another beloved author,
Oh,
another
yeah.
triumphant
Mhm,
return. And this is essentially about her journey,
mhm,
chronicling her journey of being a bird watcher.
mhm,
So, lovely to hear those personal stories. We
mhm,
we tend to build parasocial relationships with
mhm,
celebrities and the authors we love anyway. So to read a story like this about her and her perspective, which is so amazing on
mhm.
something like bird watching,
Yeah.
and bird watching being as popular as it is here in
You
Butte
know,
County,
I
Bird County,
bird
here,
well,
here in Butte
we've
County.
got quite a few birds. I
Yeah.
remember when I was
Well, we have that
getting
whole in Gridley. There's that whole sanctuary.
yeah, there's actually a couple up here. When
Mhm.
I was getting my undergrad done, and I was going to Butte College. I
Mhm.
was taking field biology, and one of the things that he had us do is they have a blind box over at the
Yeah.
college, and you let yourself in. It's this one room, and it has a little bench on it, and then it has this bar, and then you just kind of sit and you look through the bar, and you make notes of each bird that comes by, and it's actually very relaxing to sit there and do this.
Mhm.
And then when you see the little birdie come by, you're like, what are you?
Yeah.
What are you? What are you? It's just
Fun.
it's a lot of fun. And I didn't think I would, but I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, bird watching.
Bird
Mm-hmm.
watching. So that's our top 5
Mm-hmm.
nonfiction. So why don't we move to juvenile fiction? Where juvenile fiction and YA fiction, just to be fair, are going to be pretty fast because
Yeah.
there's not a whole lot of variety. It pretty much
No.
echoes what we talked about in last
Yeah.
year's best of and most checked out episode.
Yes.
So go ahead and you do. Do you want to do? You want me to do JFIC? You want to do JFIC? You want to?
You can
I
do
mean, you should do YA
I'll
because
do
you love
YA.
YA. So I
A
will do
millennial that
JFIC.
loves YA, super weird.
I
Never heard of it
just
before.
who's she? I don't know her. So when it comes to juvenile fiction, there is one winner, clear and away, and that is Jeff Kinney and the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books.
Man.
They are never going to be defeated, as
No.
far as we can tell. Year after year, they come up in the top favorites.
Mm-hmm.
The order this year, number 1 favorite was No Brainer. Number 2 was Greg Heffley's Journal. Number 3 was the one exception that proves the rule. Number 3 favorite book of Butte County residents was The Bad Guys for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
The Bad Guys, book 1, that's by Aaron Blabby. I want to put an extra L in there,
Mm-hmm.
Blabby. And so that one was number 3. Wimpy Kid, The Last Straw, and Wimpy Kid, Big Shot close out the list. So obviously,
Wow.
kids, year after year, decade after decade, really
Wimpy
love
Kid,
the
man.
Jeff Kinney books.
Yeah. Moving on to YA.
Yes, moving on to YA. Glasses on. Strapping in, glasses on.
Old lady glasses activated. So for YA, it's super fun to see this because this list has been basically the same for a good minute.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Butte County, man. Y'all love some Suzanne Collins. First one on the list is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. And that's the one where President Snow is a part of the Hunger Games. It's the one where he's in it and we're all like, la, 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 la. Number 2, Hunger Games number 1. That's the one that started it all. Katniss Everdeen.
Everdeen.
Yeah.
I think even I know that.
Oh, Pshaw. Gosh,
of course, I
ma'am.
could watch me be completely wrong.
Number 3 is Catching Fire, which is the number 2 in that series. Number 4, Sunrise on the Reaping. This is the one that just came out recently.
Mhm.
And in the Hunger Games universe, there's Haymitch, who is the trainer, the one that's always drunk. This is, yeah, I know, right? It's a great way to describe this guy. This is his Hunger Games time and what happened to him to make him the way he is. So going into it, it's not going to be a happy ending, you know, because you know it's a prequel and you know how Haymitch turned out. I mean, he's delightful. I don't think the series would have been the same without him. I absolutely love everything about Haymitch and his, his tempestuous attitude, and he's a curmudgeon-y,
Curmudgeon.
Yeah, he's a
curmudgeon.
Yeah, exactly. But that's his story right there. And then sweeping in at number 5 isn't Suzanne Collins, but is Suzanne Collins adjacent, and it's Powerless, which is basically the story of Powerless. Lauren is her name.
Lauren Roberts.
Thank you.
Yes.
What this does is it takes the idea of Hunger Games, where you have children battling to the death, and then mixes it with magical powers. So some kids have magical powers. Most kids do in this land. It's actually kind of illegal not to have a power of some kind, and you're seen as diseased if you don't have an extra ability. And this one girl is pretending that she has one, even though she doesn't, and she's a part of this competition. So not only does she have to kill the rest of the people who are very, very magically inclined, she also has to pretend that she is. And then, like I said, it's number 5. It's very much adjacent to Hunger Games, but it's a fun read, and I think
it sounds like a Harry Potter Hunger Games.
Right. It's all kind
mashup.
Of mushed together. And I was going through it and I was reading it. And like I said, it's a lot of fun. I had trouble because it's like, gosh, it feels like I've been here before. And you know how much I hate retellings.
Yeah.
I hate the feeling that I've been here, done this, got the t-shirt. Why are we doing this again? But a lot of people really loved the story. I remember there was a girl that came into Chico when I was there, and she's like, I need a book. And so I took her and I'm like, what do you like? Because we love to recommend books. We are also terrified to recommend books.
It's a hard thing to do because reading taste is subjective.
It is, just like food, you know?
But reading is
I will die on this hill. It is food. Reading is food. I will die on this hill.
Yeah, and it's just really hard to recommend things.
It is, and you want to recommend them something. You want to, I'll if I can, I will take you around the library like I'm getting commission on the books you check out, We will go from aisle to aisle to aisle, and I will be like this and this and this, but it's hard because I don't know what you like. Well, she said that she liked Hunger Games, and she's like, oh, but I've read all those. And I'm like, well, my dear, let me show you this one. And she did. She checked it out. She came back the next day and said, I need number 2. I need number 2 right now. I need it more than ever.
That's great. That always feels good when you recommend something and it works out.
Yes.
All right. Now we are moving on to the books we're most looking forward to. We're going to go back and forth. We'll do a little.
So this is going to shock you. Okay. So this last year, a book came out about dragons. And it was
can't imagine.
Right? Really? Weird. Super weird. But it was called When the Moon Hatched. Now, this book, you either love it or you hate it.
Okay.
It's got this poetic way of writing in it that some people just couldn't get into.
Okay.
And others just truly loved. And it's about dragons. And when you first started out, it's called The Creators did not expect their beloved dragons to sail skyward upon the end, to curl into balls just beyond gravity's grip, littering the sky with tombstones, with moons. So going back to how when the moon hatched, you can kind of see where that goes. Yeah. But it's a fun story, and it's a romantasy about dragons. And like I said, you either love it or you hate it. Well, the sequel, The Ballad of Falling Dragons, is coming out this year, and I am very excited to be. It comes out in April, unfortunately, so you still got time to read the first one. But be prepared. Like I said, it's language is something that sometimes I love it when it's flowy and it's flowery and it's poetic. Sometimes I just can't. Sometimes I'm just like, get to the point. Say what you mean. Just say it with your chest. Come on.
Yeah.
And
No,
So
I'm not a fan.
you
Yeah.
know, so if you're one of those people that loves that flowing poetic language, When the Moon Hatched is a great one to start. And then you have the sequel coming out this April that'll, that'll,
Continue
continue
the
it.
story.
Yes, yes. And it's a long one. These guys are nice,
Yeah,
nice
they're
thick tomes.
tomes.
Yeah. So prepare thyself. But the
Mm.
Ballad of Falling Dragons, that comes out April 26th, and that one should be a lot of fun if you're down with that kind of language.
All right. My first one that I'm looking forward to out of many, I was like, oh, there's so many. I Told You So. Scientists who were ridiculed, exiled, and imprisoned for being right.
Oh, that sounds so interesting and
Yeah.
frustrating at the same time.
Yeah, there are certain names we know about Galileo. That there are successes like Isaac Newton, who nobody ever questioned.
Yeah.
But then there are my particular favorite story that I hope they cover in the book. I'm not really sure. It does say that the book covers. It's a look at scientists whose ideas sounded supernatural or unbelievable at the time, a blend of science history and iconoclastic thinkers. Not sure what month it'll be out in 2026, but it's coming out. Dr. Ignaz Semmelweis is my particular favorite. When I was my bachelor's degree is in history with a concentration of history of science, and particularly medical history was one of the things that I really focused my studies on. And Dr. Semmelweis is an incredible figure because he's one of the people. He is the founder of germ theory.
Germs.
Yeah. And so in the 1840s, he was the one that suggested that maybe moms are dying in childbirth because we doctors aren't washing our hands.
Such a little thing. Oh
God. And they were like, no, can't be. So they started washing their hands, saw death rates plummet, and then got very, very mad at him. Because he was right. He was mocked. He was dismissed by his peers because they did not want to believe that they, as doctors, could cause death.
Oh,
which,
save me from hubris.
Yeah. And so he was actually beaten to death. Yeah. So he died in 1865. The ridicule that he'd gotten from his ideas being criticized was very difficult on him emotionally. He was blackballed from the industry. It was very hard. So he wound up having to be committed to an asylum, and he was beaten by guards and died 14 days later.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We need
from
that
sepsis.
we need that Will Ferrell meme. That escalated quickly.
Yeah, exactly. Totally. But it's just, I hope he's covered in this particular book, because I mean, it's really a story of how someone can be observant, have all the credentials, offer an idea and a solution, and the experts can get in the way of implementing that solution because of how they believe things should be operated. So for me, reading this book, I found that fascinating. So I was like, oh,
that sounds interesting and frustrating all at the same time.
Yeah, scary, scary stuff. All right, what's your next one?
Okay.
We'll do one more.
One more? Okay, then I have to eeny, meeny, miny. We'll do this one. Okay, so Abby Jimenez is delightful. She writes contemporary romance, and she is one that was recommended. I came across her because Emily Henry will talk about how wonderful she is, and she writes blurbs.
Oh yeah, and you have to take the recommendation.
I do, because
Absolutely.
I love Emily Henry, and she has a delightful one. It's one that came out this past year called "Say You'll Remember Me," which was a delightful romance. Well, she's got one coming out this next year called "The Night We Met," and that one comes out in March. It says March 26th. And in everyone's life, there's a split-second decision that can change everything.
Fair.
It came to this one right here is about a girl who chose a guy to ride at a concert with. That night, she had no idea she'd meet the perfect man. Yeah, it's a romance, So, but what I love about Abby Jimenez is that her characters have layers to them. They've got their own, just like Emily Henry. That's what I love about Emily Henry too. They've got their own problems. They've got their own, why are they making these decisions? Oh, they've got these issues. Why are they doing this? They have these experiences. And she knows how to build a character, not just, ta-da, here's your character. They did this because of this. It's no, oh, it's that iceberg effect where here's the character, but below the character's doing this because she has these, kind of issues. And the character's mother was this way, so she's acting this way because of it. The character had this experience, so she's choosing this because that had such an effect on her. It makes these characters very complex. And I absolutely, like I said, it gives something to dig into, and Abby Jimenez does that. And we have a number of her books at the library. And I would totally 100% suggest coming in here and checking out a couple. They're vastly, for the majority of them, they're romances. In fact, I can't think of one that's not a romance, but hey, that's my gig. But the one that's coming out this coming year that I'm very excited about is The Night That We Met. And that one, like I said, comes out in March 26th. I'm very excited for that one. And, I would end this recommendation with my Emily Henry one that's coming out. But she's not coming out with a new one this year.
I'm sorry.
I know. I was really upset about that, Tracy. I was doing research for this, and I'm going through, and I'm like, what's the new Emily Henry? What's the new Emily
You're like,
Henry?
I know who I'm going with.
Yeah, exactly.
I know what author I want.
And she hasn't announced a new release, and I think it's because one of her books, Friends We Meet on Vacation, is being turned into a movie. And so I think she's in the middle of doing that. And yet, yay, I actually do. I love reading a book and then watching the movie and then being disappointed because the book was better. It
happens.
It's a favorite hobby for me.
Yeah.
But I was looking forward to a new Emily Henry, and she doesn't have one for me, and it made me a little sad. But I'm good. Your turn.
Okay. So my next book is How to Build a Haunted House: The History of a Cultural Obsession. So this is by Caitlin Blackwell Baines. It's a thematic cultural history of why haunted houses and ghostly narratives captivate us, blending folklore, architecture, and psychology.
Ooh.
So I'm fascinated by why we build what we build, why it looks the way it looks, how it gets used, how those uses changed over time. And I also love Forteano, which is Charles Fort was a guy in the 19th century who liked to collect weird stories. And so it's like conspiracy theories, but it's from a skeptic's point of view. You remain neutral. You're not like, and here's a conspiracy, and here's a conspiracy. It's just like, oh, they're all lined up. Fantastic. Let me collect those and see which ones connect. And very interesting. So this basically is going to be a book about, also, I don't have a date in particular when it's coming out next year. It is essentially looking at why humans and why our culture is so intrigued by the haunted house, by hauntings. What are the architectural earmarks that make a haunted house? Because these things really are pretty set, which is why movies which take place in a very modern home were done that way, because it's turning the trope on its head. So this examines the trope, it examines the cultural phenomenon. I'm excited.
All the libraries are haunted, right?
Huh?
We have ghosts.
Oh, well, that goes without saying that every library has a ghost. I would hope you would know that.
Right. Oh my gosh. I will be here, and it'll be early morning, and I'll just, because, usually there's 2 or more people in a building at any point in time. But if I get here first, I'm the first one here, and I'll be settling in, and then I'll hear a door open or close, and I'll hear footsteps, and I'm like, hello? And then no one's there. And I'll get up and I'll walk over, and there's still no one there. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll go back, and then I'll hear it again. I'll be like, you've got to be kidding me. If you aren't there, say something. But no, there's never anyone there. It's fun. Don't get me wrong. But yeah.
It's not a malevolent presence. But there have been times, there literally was, Joe and I were having a conversation, and literally the closest person was 5 feet away, and a roll of stickers literally just flew across the room. And I don't mean like rolled off the shelf. It got hurled across the room.
It was yeeted.
Yeah. It's just, all that's, Terry Pratchett used to say it's the energy of the ideas in the books.
Uh-huh.
And I can't argue with
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
You know, that places with books have lots of ideas.
Uh-huh.
It's lots of energy. There's going to be things happening.
And you know Biggs is the most haunted one.
I love that ghost
Yes,
though.
yes.
I always
This
come
is
in
your-
and I'm like, hello, library
This
ghost.
is your sign to go to Biggs and say
Yes.
hello to the library ghost.
Go
Not
ghost
Shivlink,
hunt.
the gentleman that works there.
Yes.
But the
Who
actual...
is also delightful.
Oh gosh, very much so.
But
uh-huh.
you
Yeah,
know,
there's
tell
a-
them to introduce you to
just-
the library ghost.
Yeah, just walk in there and be like, hello, library ghost. Because
Yes.
yeah, 1908
Yes.
the building was built.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
it's the last operating Carnegie Library
Mhm.
that Butte County in the Butte County Library system.
Yes.
Yeah. So that brings us to the end of our look at Butte County's library's most checked out books of 2025.
It's always fun to see what readers connected with, the stories, ideas, and topics that kept circulating all year long.
That's right. And looking ahead to 2026, there's clearly no shortage of books to be excited about, whether you're drawn to fiction, nonfiction, or a little of both.
If any of the titles we talked about today caught your interest, remember that you can place holds, check availability, and explore similar reads throughout Butte County Library.
And thanks for spending part of your day with us at Library-ish. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, share it with a fellow reader, and join us again soon.
Until next time, happy reading, and here's another great year of library books.
Yay!
Yay!